When I talk to other people who are playing at that level, it helps me expand my mind, expand what I believe is possible for me. And I start to maybe think bigger, take more action, see things from a different angle, and the path begins to appear. What's up, everybody? Chris Bello here. Welcome to the Entrepreneur Motivation Podcast. Just wanted to do a quick check-in video, see how everyone is doing, kind of give you an update on what I've been up to. As of this recording, it is May 2nd, 2022. And of course, I've been bringing on, a couple of guests here and there. Bradley was the first guest in several months. I've been dropping solo episodes on certain content topics, and I've just been preparing some slides for those, just with a couple of bullet points to kind of figure out what is it that I want to talk about, make sure I'm hitting on all the key points, wrapping it all up in a nice little bow and having a call to action type of thing. And so it's been a while since I've done one of these just from the heart episodes without any notes, without any bullet points or any of that kind of stuff. But in any case, things have been going okay. Wedding planning coming up. That's a lot going on in terms of mind space and thinking about all the things that we have to do, invitations that we need to send, people that we forgot to invite, those types of things on top of the business and entrepreneurship stuff. I'm not sure about you, but for me, it's so hard to think about things that I don't want to spend too much time on, if that makes sense. I was telling somebody that typically if it takes more than 5 to 10 minutes, I tend to outsource it or delegate it to a virtual assistant. And so whenever I have to do things that take longer, such as review who's coming to the wedding and looking at the list and things like that, I would probably delegate it. But since it's kind of a little more important, a bigger thing, we don't want to have any misspellings of names or incorrect addresses and those types of things. So I've been helping the fiance a little bit, and if she's listening to this, she'll be like, no, Chris isn't helping. He's really just supporting in a way. And that's kind of me mini delegating because she's taking over a lot of it, and it's been working okay. But I'm not sure about you guys. The problem that I struggle with most is being 100% present in whatever I'm doing. My mind's always going a million miles per hour. When I'm doing something, I'm thinking about the other things that I want to do. Even if I'm at the gym, I email myself, or I'll add bullet points in Asana of projects that I want to work on or new ideas. As I'm listening to a podcast, I may get a couple of great nuggets and be like, ooh, that's really good. Or even an audiobook, if I'm listening to something on Audible, I will add things that I want to do on this never ending to-do list of constant, continuous improvement. And while I think that's great, I think it can also be a little bit maybe neurotic or like obsessive compulsive or something like that, because you can never fully be present. You are always wondering, what else can you do? What else should you do? You're not focusing on the present moment because you're thinking about all the other things that you have to do. Like I'm thinking about this call I have coming up in 50 minutes that I have to kind of get ready for after I record this for you. I'm thinking about my cat up here and jumping up on the desk and being like, dang it, I should have locked her up again. Here she is, making a little entrance. What I want to say is just continue to focus on what matters most. It really is helpful if you've got some accountability partners, a business coach. I talk about this before. I'm constantly meeting with people on some sort of recurring schedule. I've got 2 friends that I meet with once a month. We do a monthly call. I've got another friend, we do a weekly call. And then I have a 4th friend, and we do a call every 2 weeks. And we're all kind of accountability friends. We're all business owners or entrepreneurs of some sort, or at least just working on becoming better and getting to be at that next level, wherever that may be. And when we hold each other accountable and we meet frequently, we set goals for each other. And as I check in with different people, I get different perspectives, different ideas, different suggestions, different support. And I do feel guilty. I don't want to let down 4 different people, for example, on top of my life coach and my business coach. If I make these promises in the accountability piece and I don't stick to them, I do feel pretty terrible because I keep writing things down and I find like, man, I put this down 3 times and I haven't done it each time. I need to actually step it up. I need to make that happen. And for me lately, that thing has been getting my actual real estate license in Colorado. I signed up for it, got really frustrated if you saw on my stories, because I was trying to log in and 40 minutes later, trying to do it from the home office. They're making me move my webcam and just show the whole desk and move things away. I had to move my podcast mic and move a water bottle. And at that point, I just exited out and went to the gym. So that's been one thing that I've been kicking the can down the road on, because I have clients in Houston, still closing deals remotely. I had a few sales for a live training that I did for real estate agents as well. So I'm kind of like, ooh, What if I just went down that direction and I didn't even have to get my real estate license in Colorado and deal with any of that stuff? I can just help my current clients virtually in Houston, teach real estate agents, scale that up, make a digital course, hit the 2 Comma Club and all these different things. It's interesting because I don't know exactly what to focus on, but I am testing things. Like a recent episode talked about, Test Everything, I think was the name of that one. I am constantly testing everything, split testing, emails, email marketing, social media posts, which platform gets the most engagements. If I do a poll on my story on Instagram versus Facebook, which one are people more active on? Do the votes and percentages vary depending on the demographic, depending on the platform? And as I'm testing things, I'm finding things out. What do I like? What do I not like? What do people want to learn from me? What do they not care about? Real estate agents that I'm trying to coach, what are their biggest challenges and concerns? How can I help them get through that to the next level? And so I'm really like this archaeologist. I think I mentioned that as well in a recent episode. A friend told me, instead of being an architect where you're trying to put everything together before you even start, be more like an archaeologist where you are slowly uncovering a little bit more. You're like dusting off that little fossil and you're figuring out, I'm not sure what this is. This might be an elbow. This might be a leg. What kind of dinosaur is this, or plant or animal or whatever? I'm not sure if, I guess plants can get fossilized too. If I think back to geology, if I think back to geology and fossils and all those things. Yeah. Okay. But anyway, where I'm going with this is I'm still figuring things out. I by no means have it all figured out. Sometimes people look at me and they're like, man, you got a big podcast. You got real estate clients. Like, you have it figured out. I want to be where you are. And I look at the people who are bigger than me. It's almost like the fish looking at the shark looking at the whale type thing. And you're looking and there's constantly someone who's doing it better, doing more than you, succeeding at a higher level, appears to be winning in all areas. And it's funny because we often all feel similarly in terms of we're not doing enough, we're not good enough. I mean, you see it all the time with athletes. Athletes are freaking phenomenal. They can do these things that not very many people can do, and they're very hard on themselves because the competition is so fierce. They're literally competing with the best of the best, and that can skew their perception where they don't feel as good or confident in their abilities because they're comparing themselves to the best of the best. Whereas if they were to compare themselves to someone like myself who can barely do a backflip off of a trampoline or, what is it, a diving board, that would be just, a clear domination. They would just crush me in that kind of competition. But because they're not comparing themselves to the average person, they're comparing themselves to the best, they don't feel satisfied about their own progress and what they're up to. So I say all that to say, we're all running our own race. Don't worry about comparing yourself to others. I always say, compare yourself, you versus you. Comparison's the thief of joy. If you're looking at other people, what they're doing, you're going to feel crappy about yourself. And I think some of it is healthy. Too much of it is not. I don't want to just compare me versus me because I want to play a bigger game. I like to see what others are doing. And I think that if I'm just comparing me versus me, I may be a little satisfied if I close a little more deals. If I close a couple more deals this year, I'm doing pretty good compared to last year. If I look at people who are crushing it at a whole different level, I realize, wow, okay, we're looking at different things. I'm looking at a small scale. They're looking at that big scale. I want to think like that. And when I talk to other people who are playing at that level, it helps me expand my mind, expand what I believe is possible for me. And I start to maybe think bigger, take more action, see things from a different angle, and the path begins to appear. Things become more apparent. I may make an offer that people are more interested in, and then I have a course and I make a pitch and people take me up on it. They make payments through Stripe or whatever payment processing system, and magic can happen. But that doesn't happen unless you are trying things and testing things and getting feedback and talking to people in different industries with different backgrounds who can provide information on the best next step with the information that you have available. So that's a little bit about what I'm up to: wedding planning, helping clients in real estate, coaching some people, kind of testing things out. I had a conversation with a possible podcast sponsor, going to see how that goes. I think she's got to talk to the CEO of the company, look at the numbers, see what makes sense, because they're not as familiar. They're not really familiar with podcast sponsorships, and I've never had a sponsor. So it's a whole new world for me as well. So trying things out, I've got some goals on the whiteboard here. I'd like to be able to find some podcast sponsors, do some podcast swaps with people who have real estate agents in their audience, because I know I can serve them with the knowledge that I've acquired for myself. Looking at getting my license here in Colorado and joining a brokerage that can feed me some leads on top of the self-generation I can do. It would be really nice to scale up to 10 mastermind members for real estate agents in particular. I am really remembering the riches are in the niches. So that's why I'm focusing on that niche. And I'm not just saying, hey, mastermind for anyone. And then I've also got this one-time course that I've done. Like I mentioned, I had a couple of sales already. A few agents went through that and had a really good experience. So I have some goals for, doing 5 to 10 of those on a monthly basis in a one-time training on top of mastermind members, on top of getting podcast sponsors, on top of getting onto other podcasts as well. And just if I can consistently hit that 20K month mark outside of real estate transactions, like through coaching and sponsorship and mastermind fees, that would be kind of like a first goal that I'd like to consistently get to. I may have mentioned before, I think my biggest issue with real estate and with just like being an agent or an investor, it is a bit of a hamster wheel. You can have big months and small months. There's no predictability at all. 3 people may come out of the woodwork wanting to sell their house all at once, and it sounds awesome. And you have a big payday or pay week or pay month, and then no one wants to sell, no one wants to buy, your buyers fall through. It's constant prospecting and that kind of thing. And I do love helping people. There is some fun in the thrill of the chase of that, but I would really love to check the box of having the consistency, predictability of income where I can look and see more or less, plus or minus a small percentage. Okay, I can reasonably expect to make, $20,000 to $25,000 a month, and I can predict my income where 4 months from now, I can be like, I think I know I'm going to make around this amount. Whereas right now, I honestly don't have that visibility. And obviously I want to crush it. I want to help as many people as I can and, close deals and make more money. But at the same time, there's that trade-off. How much money is enough to satisfy the lifestyle that I'm looking to live? And I'm not trying to just coast or be lazy. I want to push myself. I want to expand, but I think how I do it is very important. Gary Vee has said how you make your money is more important than how much money you make, right? So for that reason, I am really focusing on the how. I want to make money in a way that feels good for me. It's easy for me. I can deliver on something I love. I love teaching people. I love doing Zoom calls. That would be amazing if I can just do like a group call to 10 people, make $3,000 an hour for my time combined with the group where it makes sense for them and it makes sense for me. And I'm not having to constantly chase deals, get, buyers that are interested, and then they change their mind and then the interest rates go up and all those kinds of variables that are harder to control, more objections to overcome, if that makes sense. But yeah, that's it. I just wanted to give you guys a quick update. Hopefully you do enjoy and appreciate these little thoughts and just blurbs from myself in between episodes that are more about topics. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, shoot me a message on Instagram or comment below on YouTube. And also if you go to chrisbello.com/askchris, you can ask me a question. It's just a Google form. Submit your question. If it's relevant to the kind of podcast stuff that I like to talk about, if it's an interesting topic, I would be more than happy to make an episode around it. And one more thing, make sure if you have not already, sorry, if you're on my email list, I accidentally was combining lists and you automatically probably already got this, but if you're not yet already, you may want to check it out. chrisbello.com/free gives you access to something that I created called the Complete Life Tracker. This is a tool where I track all my personal goals, my business goals, 5-year goals, everything. I outlined a 20-ish minute video as well on how to use it, how I use it in case you're interested. You can download that for free. You can utilize it, update it, change things around, whatever it is that you want to do. Again, you can get that at chrisbello.com/free. But that's it for this episode. Just wanted to do a quick check-in. I hope everybody's doing great, and I look forward to catching you on the next episode. Thanks so much for your time.